I served in General Conventions 2003, 2006, 2009, and so 2012 was my fourth convention. And over the last 9 years or so, I think the convention has become much more civil. Certainly there was a lot of contentious debate going back and forth in 2003 and 2006. So my experience has been that the people of the Episcopal Church have really begun to heal and work through a lot of issues, so that by the time we got to this convention, dialogue was very civil. There was a spirit of caring and listening among deputies and bishops. So I felt very good about this convention. Things have definitely shifted in the way we're relating to one another as a church.
As a first-time deputy, I think I was most surprised by the intensity of the 10 days of convention, that you would be up at 7:30, going to a committee, hearing testimony, hearing a committee discuss legislation, and then be on the floor for several hours in the afternoon, and then caucusing with our deputation in the evening. All good, all exhausting, and all actually really invigorating.
As I think about the 2012 General Convention, I think the greatest thing that has come out of that, and will be the greatest thing as we look back at 2012, has been the work begun around restructuring the Episcopal Church. A great affirmation of a love for the Episcopal Church, but a recognition that there's some things that need attention, some things that need reworking, and this convention has set the groundwork for that, and it was wonderful to be a part of that and to feel the Spirit move through the whole convention, seeing resolutions go through with no dissension in either house, made it for quite a special experience, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes in the future.
I think the major accomplishment that I noticed at this convention is that we really focused on the 5 marks of mission, which made a tremendous difference when you got into the budgeting process, because it could be really focused, and also they provided block grants to each of the 5 areas, which will help us to carry out mission throughout the country. So I found that really exciting and thought it was a major accomplishment.
I think this convention really took a step forward on inclusion in the Episcopal Church. There were actions taken to include our lesbian, gay, and transgendered brothers and sisters in worship and in positions of authority in the church. This was huge, and it was a step that I think we've been moving toward a long time, but it was wonderful to see it happen. And also in terms of authorization for a trial liturgy for the blessing of same-sex marriages. Again, a process we've moved toward, and we've certainly done a lot in this diocese in that direction, but for the entire church to take that step was a big deal.
So the areas that I spent most of my time on at General Convention in terms of committee work were the denominational health plan issues that came up with the pension fund group as we work into that policy, which took effect for some dioceses a few years ago, and for everybody as of January 1st of next year. So I was able to speak in some of the committees to our own issues in the Diocese of Washington and what would be helpful for our parishes and our diocese. I also found great enjoyment in participating in the structure conversations, being a part of committee meetings and meeting other people and talking about and listening to their opinions about the Episcopal Church and its structure, and then being able to float between the 2 houses as an alternate deputy. I got to see how the bishops and the House of Deputies each were dealing with these issues, and it was remarkable to see how they meshed together in such a wonderful way. And it was a great experience to be there for the Diocese of Washington and to be able to bring some of those things back with me as well.
The resolutions from our diocese were several. There were actually 3. And we decided to have each of us to track certain ones, and we volunteered for those. I volunteered for 2. One was endorsing statehood for the District of Columbia, and the second one was really in terms of peace for the Palestinian and Israeli initiative. I really enjoyed attending both of those. Both had major legislative discussions. And although the form that was finally presented and accepted at convention was different than what we submitted, the legislative committees in both instances worked really hard to shape those resolutions into ones that they felt could be passed in both the House of Bishops and the House of Deputies. And versions of those were passed, so we are very pleased with that. and pleased that our deputation could work with those legislative committees to make that happen.
We as a deputation really worked well together. There were several people, this was their first time serving as a deputy at General Convention, but as a group we really came together. There's 16 of us in total, plus the bishop. We worked with each other in terms of alternating on and off the floor so that we could cover all of the different resolutions for the diocese as well as other resolutions that were of interest to us. We met every night as a body late in the day to compare notes. Our bishop was there with us. This was her convention, obviously, as a bishop. We were thrilled to have her there. She did really, really well, and we were just so proud to be with her and with each other. But we worked very well together, had a great deputation, and I think we accomplished a lot.
I think the value of the General Convention for an average parish, in my mind, is that the convention really is an opportunity for us to see what the church looks like in all of its breadth and depth. We know in our parishes that we're all different, but even within a parish, we tend to have some similarities that even other parishes don't share. And when you get together at a General Convention and you hear people and you see people and you realize the different traditions they have within this big tent of our church, it's really inspiring. And so you can go to that and say, there's a place for all of us in the Episcopal Church. There's a place for all of us to be followers of Christ. And I think that's a message that really is valuable in the pew as well, in reminding people that this is a big church with a lot of different people who are faithful in different ways and who all have a love of God and Christ and a love of this Episcopal Church. And I really enjoyed being a part of the General Convention.
And the value of General Convention, I think one of the most important values is that we vote on a lot of resolutions about good things, mom and apple pie and all the rest of it. And that may seem a little pie in the sky. However, what it does is it gives the Washington office of the Episcopal Church up on Capitol Hill the go-ahead to go after these issues once they come before the Congress. And the Washington office works in partnerships with other faith groups and other interested groups to get legislation passed so that if we take a position in General Convention on the Palestinian situation, which we did, then this empowers the Washington office to do something about it in terms of lobbying Congress. So it gives them sort of a hunting license to do the things that we have said are important. And I believe that's important for all of us. Some things we can do at the parish level, some at the diocesan level, but this is something we need to do as the whole church, the whole Episcopal Church.
I believe the value of this General Convention, not only for the congregations of our diocese here, but for the Episcopal Church in general, is we came out of that convention filled with hope. That we are a denomination that is reimagining itself, we are renewing ourselves to really face the challenges of this world and to really meet the needs of God's people in our own day. And we hope that we can share that good news with you and with everyone else to go forward with a lot of renewed energy and hope for the future.